Welcome to EP Daily. Today on the show, we chat about the online chat and the new game, Splatoon.
Plus, I mess up my hair by strapping on Sony's VR headset, Project Morpheus.
And then we get fast and furious with Forza Horizon 2. Also coming up, we fear nothing with the new game Dreadnought, have a review of Altos Adventure, and much more today on EP Daily. Brought to you by EB Games. I'm your host, Victor Lucas, bringing you the latest in everything cool every single day. If people are being jerks to you online, we've got the perfect escape. It's called The Rundown. Don't expect to hear any flame or anything else while you're playing the new Wii U game, Splatoon. Speaking with Edge Magazine, co-director Yusuke Amano revealed that there will be no voice chat in the game when playing online. He says that too many people in other games use chat to swear at and insult strangers, and they want to keep their game clean. Most online titles with chat give players the ability to block jerks who abuse the mic, which means you can still communicate with your teammates and talk with your friends. It remains to be seen how Splatoon will play without that ability. We'll find out when the game hits the Wii U on May 29th. You might have to keep your umbrella handy the next time you see a movie. 4D theaters already include motion chairs and some weather effects, but they're about to get a lot more stormy. 4DX, one of the companies that makes 4D theater systems, plans to bring more intense weather effects like snow, warm air, and even rainstorms to theaters this summer. This will allow them to better simulate the weather that's being depicted on screen and is designed to make films more immersive, because nothing makes for a better time at the movies than being blasted with water. More and more 4D theaters have begun popping up across the globe in a bid to win back dwindling audiences, although they're more popular abroad than in North America. Big summer movies that will support 4D include Mad Max Fury Road and the disaster movie San Andreas. Here to help me discuss the finer points of 4D entertainment is my pal Marissa Roberta. What do you think of this 4D theater system?
Everything coming at me at once. I don't know. I feel like it's interesting. I don't want to. I mean, when I go out, I leave my home. Like, my hair is done in a certain way. Your hair is done in a certain way. I don't want it to be ruined by any kind of rain or water.
Thank you for looking out for my hair.
Right, no problem. I'm here for you. I understand the gimmick though, because they want people to have their bums in seats. They want them to pay for tickets and go there. But I feel like this is going to cost them more than it's worth.
Well, I love the ride kind of entertainment stuff that you get at something like Disneyland, which is very 4D, which has stuff, you know, kind of flying at you and water spraying and they're tilting and turning all this. I like that. I think that's really fun. The Star Tours, I just went on that and it was so much fun.
Okay.
But I don't know if you can kind of mass entertainment that. And I think you're right. I think you come out of that something like that experience and you're disheveled and exhausted and I mean maybe it's fun, but it does feel very gimmicky, doesn't it?
It does. But I don't know what else they're going to do though, because less people are going to see movies now, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to stay home and I want to avoid all of this, but this is
we have an ocean of blockbusters to enjoy this summer, and that's why these big movies are coming, right? They already feel 4D in a lot of ways.
That's true.
Well, talking about 4D, Splatoon has a kind of a 4D element in it. In fact, because of all the sort of dirt that you pick up, all the inky kind of...
Can you imagine ink being squirted out at you while you're playing this game? That would be the worst. But I do like what Nintendo's doing. I like the idea of not having any kind of chat.
Right.
Only because it's true, like there is a lot of abuse online.
What a sad sort of state of affairs that Nintendo has to preemptively remove a feature that we should all sort of be able to depend on because of the jerks online. I mean, honestly, if you're watching this and you see that Nintendo is doing something like this, change your attitude, change the way that you deal with people online. It's ridiculous.
But they don't care.
Companies shouldn't have to do this. Yeah, I know, but it's...
So, I mean, I've gotten abuse online for sure, and I haven't turned on my chat in a really long time. I think the last time I did it was for Killzone Shadowfall.
People were
because they were cool. So I turned it on, I was chatting with them, but I can't, you don't know, you just don't know, so I avoid it until I know for sure.
It makes a huge difference, that whole environment, doesn't it? And if you've got a bunch of people that you have to mute, it really ruins the experience. But right now we have to talk about another 4D enterprise. Scott is taking a look at Project Morpheus.
I am with Richard Marks. He is the Senior Director of Research and Development at Sony. Very important title. We're talking about something called Project Morpheus. What is Project Morpheus?
Project Morpheus is our virtual reality system for the PlayStation 4.
Why is this a good marriage with the PlayStation 4?
Well, I mean, everyone is talking about virtual reality right now, but we've been interested in it for quite a long time. Started this project back in 2010, and video games, it is about immersion, and virtual reality is kind of the ultimate immersion, feeling like you're in a different place. We've been working on it, and this particular system, Project Morpheus, is really well suited to the PS4. We are leveraging the graphics of the PS4, and we have this really good 1080p display, and it runs at 120 frames per second, and the PS4 is able to put out 120 frames per second. So we get a very smooth, very high quality, low persistence, low latency experience, and really makes you feel like you're somewhere else when you're inside.
Let me ask you a question about fashion. I'm not a great dresser. You're a much better dresser than I am. How much thought and effort and energy went into designing the fashion of Project Morpheus?
Actually, you know, that's always a really important thing for Sony, in particular, the kind of marriage of technology, engineering, and design. And we really like the way it looks, but also really important is the ergonomics of how it fits on. And Morpheus in particular, the weight is distributed on your head evenly. It doesn't press against your face. It also has the ability to support glasses. And then you can also pull it out and be able to look around so you don't feel too claustrophobic. So a lot of ergonomics and design are in there in the mechanical side.
What you guys are able to do in these virtual worlds that you're creating is, so far from what I've seen, and it's only the tip of the iceberg, really impressive.
Yeah, right now we're showing tech demos, and hopefully you'll start to see some real games. And what we're trying to show is what is possible out there with virtual reality. We're not really focused on any one experience. We want to cover a breadth of experiences. The ones we're showing range from very cute to very intense and really extreme. Like the shark one really gets to a lot of people. It really feels like there's a real great white shark there. And I think that's the thing that is really great about virtual reality is you can explore many different avenues, and you can visit almost anywhere virtually that way and feel like you're in a really happy place or a really intense place. And I'm really excited to see what game developers will do with it.
Now, why do you guys have this sort of ambiguous, enigmatic name for it? When are we going to have a real name?
Well, right now that's a project code name. Morpheus is the god of dreams, so it feels like you're in a different place in a dream when you're inside. And we're still working on a product name. We announced that we're going to launch it, but no name yet.
A little behind-the-scenes info for you. Scott's toupee fell off right before the camera started rolling, but luckily he keeps extra adhesive in his man satchel.
Always keep extra adhesive in your man satchel. Those are words to live by. We've got more life lessons and a look at Dreadnought when we come back.
Grifter, orbital. No friendlies in the area. Good hunting.
Welcome back to EFE Daily. Hey there, Scott Jones. You fancy yourself a sci-fi man, I believe.
I fancy myself lots of things, and yes, Sci-Fi Man is one of them.
Great, so how would you feel about a game that combined Battlestar Galactica and Star Trek?
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's happening. I think you should pay attention to this next story because I talked to the director behind Dreadnought.
Oh.
Clear to engage.
Orbital, Grifter. Potential friendlies in the AO, please advise.
Grifter, orbital. No friendlies in the area. Good hunting.
You might be wondering what an aerial armada action game is, because I was. It's called Dreadnought, so tell me, what exactly does that mean?
An aerial armada action game is a game about big epic spaceships. So there are all these TV shows out there like Battlestar Galactica and Star Trek and Firefly, and we all love them, and they're all about like big spaceships. But there's only a lot of like small fighter games out there that you can play. There's not that many big spaceship games, so we made a game about big spaceships. It is really a passion project. Matthias, our art director, he really loves big spaceships. And we picked up that passion, and we found Greybox, who is also a lot into big spaceships, so it's really cool.
So this is a 5v5 game.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about the actual armada that we're using here in this aerial armada action game? See, I said it twice now.
Pretty impressive, actually. We have different classes in the game, and those classes actually were inspired by the Galactica, the Millennium Falcon, the Enterprise. So all the different classes play together and have different roles and create this super engaging tactical team play.
Give us an example of your favorite ship to use.
Damn it. Didn't expect that one. Favorite class at the moment is the support class, like the tactical cruiser. But then there's the Dreadnought, which is more the Galactica. And that's just this massive, slow, huge firepower, can jump into the thick of it and cause mayhem. They are all really good. Come on, don't make me choose one.
Okay, fine. They're all your babies. I understand.
Yes, they're all my babies.
Okay.
400-meter long babies, really.
Locking on target. On my mark.
On top of the multiplayer game that we have, we also have a single-player campaign. We want to make it episodic because we love those TV shows, and since the multiplayer game is going to be an ongoing service, we also want to have an ongoing single-player part attached to it. There's going to be a lot of customization. Like, we have crew members that will actually progress and act as perks to define your playstyle. We have different abilities that we can customize for the different ships.
Could we call this game an aerial armada action RPG?
You really like saying that, don't you?
I know, I do.
I mean, you have a lot of progression that you can use to actually vary your playstyle in different ways like this. RPG would probably be too much.
So you're rejecting my idea for an RPG?
I'm not rejecting it. I actually really like it.
Interesting, interesting. Very good. Very
You
nice
know,
story.
Dreadnought is being developed by the same people who made Spec Ops The Line.
Ooh, you know, do we have that one in the EP vault?
Oh, yeah, it turns out we do. Roll tape.
We do.
We are off to Dubai today to take a look at a game. Are you getting
Lots of sand.
feed?
There's
Getting a feed?
sand. There's sand coming through.
Well, it's a desert, so we're talking about Spec Ops The Line today. This is from 2K.
There it is. That's the
and
line.
a lot of buzz about this game. Jose, what did you think?
Well, first off, let me just say something.
Okay.
You're gonna put out a game that comes with a foobar pack and doesn't feature my face? We're gonna have an issue. I mean, come on.
I was surprised when I saw that on the special edition.
Right? I thought, I was like, they put me in the game, how can I not give this a 10?
Yeah.
Right away. But no, that's just a little bonus mode, gives you some perks and online stuff.
not a 10 then?
So it's not gonna be a 10.
Okay.
But I did have a little bit of fun with this game. It's very Gears of War style, you know, running with a crew of people, shooting a lot of things in the face.
You have to go in to Dubai, which has been ravaged by sandstorms, and it's kind of apocalyptic in there now. There's the 33rd Battalion, the Damned is what they're called. You have to go in there and evacuate them, but it turns out that there's a crazy leader.
Of course.
Colonel Conrad, not Kurtz, Colonel Conrad with a K. So, I mean, right off the bat, I was a little like, well, this is just a total ripoff of Apocalypse Now. But over the course of the single-player game, I started to kind of get what they were going for, which is that they start to make you feel a lot of mixed feelings about shooting people. And that's rare for a military game. You know, you don't see that often. You just mow guys down in Call of Duty and Medal of Honor. You never think twice. In this game, over the course of the game, you don't only start thinking twice, you start wondering if you're really the big jerk here.
Yeah, or if you're shooting the right people.
Those were soldiers, our own guys.
On one hand, it's so interesting because they really make you question the morality of shooting all these people and what you're doing. And that's so interesting and I think innovative in the video game space. And then in the same game, you're doing such conventional stuff. You're just hiding behind cover, shooting guys with AKs and M1s, the same guns you've played in a million games, grenades. The gameplay itself, to me, felt so kind of bland. It didn't really move that far.
I love the depth of how you can go about killing people in this game. You don't have to shoot them. You can bust out all this crazy glass inside these hotels that you find yourself in. Sand will just come rushing in and wipe them all out. I thought that was super cool.
Well, I thought that was cool, but they didn't use it that well. Like, it was a couple set pieces, maybe 6 or 7 times over the course of the campaign. They've been talking so much about the sand being this huge element of the game, and then you get into it, and it's not really organic. It's these moments where you go, shoot out the window, sand falls on everybody.
You do die a lot in this game.
Well, that's because I think they have a nice, realistic bullet model here. If you shoot a guy 2 or 3 times, he's dead. Like, you don't have to shoot a guy 30 times to take him down.
Hostile down. Nice work.
You also get multiplayer. You got about 30 or 40 levels in the multiplayer. You've got some largish maps, we would say. And that was okay, except I did find that it got a little janky in the multiplayer. A lot of like graphical pops and, you know, and the sand's obscuring you. It felt like because
the sand, man, it's all up in your face. So Spec Ops The Line did deliver to me a foobar pack. Unfortunately, it did not deliver all the foobar that I wanted, but I'm still gonna give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10 as well. Really compelling single-player story, but not that thrilling mechanically.
Another great moment in our show's history.
Hey, up next, what if Fast and Furious made a baby with Forza?
EP's mobile coverage is brought to you by Gameloft, makers of Dragon Mania Legends, which you can play for free right now. Look, I know you played a ton of Endless Runners on your iPhone or your iPad, but I've got a new one for you to check out. It's called Altos Adventure, and boy, this is a beautiful game. It's made by Snowman out of Toronto. What they've done here is they've given us a snowboarding Endless Runner. You play a little guy named Alto who is out chasing after and trying to rescue a bunch of llamas that are all running down a mountainside. You're doing jumps, you're doing flips, you're doing some grinds on all kinds of different obstructions. You're collecting little power-ups like magnets and things that will help you glide for a little bit. But the big story here is the beautiful music and the incredible art style. This is so lush, so beautiful, so addictive, so well-tuned. This is simply some of the best stuff that you can find on a touchscreen today. I think it deserves to be on pretty much every iPhone or iPad out there. I'm giving it a 9.5 out of 10.
Another great pocket there, Vic. And as promised before the break, it seems like Fast and the Furious has made a baby with the Forza series. Now, is this an awesome video game, or is it an evil advertisement for not one, not two, but 3 different products? Riss and I have the answer.
Turn 10 Studios released a game a little while ago called Forza Horizon, and now because Fast and the Furious just came on theaters, why not release a little something, a little taste of Forza Horizon with Forza Horizon Presents Fast and Furious 7, or just Furious 7. There's a lot of words in this title.
And this is kind of a strange partnership here because it's both an advertisement for the Forza Horizon series, which is excellent. Yeah. Turn 10 has done so much good work, and it's also an advertisement for the new movie in the Fast and Furious series. I kind of forgot about Forza Horizon, and I kind of enjoyed going back to a racing game, and I'd kind of been missing them from my life, and I'd forgotten the exhilaration you can feel, you know, in your chest, that little bit of electricity you feel from playing a race. Like, there's so much excitement in this DLC.
There is so much excitement, and I think the excitement comes from the fact that you don't even need to own Forza Horizon to download this. So it really does feel like a demo for Forza Horizon if you have never played it before, and it really does give you all the delicious food that you'd want in a racing game.
Forza food.
The Forza food. And I've always been a fan of the Forza franchise, the Forza series. I absolutely love this style of racing. It's my absolute favorite. And I love that you just jump into this car that's already moving. It is already moving, and it takes you for this ride, and I love the easy handling of it all. You can ramp up the difficulty if you want as well. And you're just having to go from task to task. And there's not a lot of races in this one, of course, because it's just a sliver of a game.
That's how it's done. He never stood a chance.
I like the premise of this, which is very simple and straightforward. It's all basically, like you said, it's an excuse to just get you on the road, get you behind the wheel of these cars, which feel pretty good. You're basically tracking down 10 different cars over the course of the game that are all mapped out all over the place. And to acquire those cars, you have to go through a series of challenges. And those are all basic racing game challenges that we've all been through before. We've been through in the Forza Horizon universe before. One in particular that stands out for me is where I had to race an attack helicopter. And for some reason, I don't know, maybe I just don't appreciate the power of the Xbox One, but it looked amazing on screen. There was so much, every time it was over my car, I just kind of could feel the wind. I'm just sitting on my couch, feel the wind from the helicopter's blades. I could see the little droplets of water everywhere, and it's really an impressive effect.
It is impressive. The game itself is very impressive, and I think I love these racing games so much more when they are bite-sized and I don't feel like this overwhelming world around me that I have to just stay in and live in. So I feel like I enjoyed this game so much more because of that. I also enjoyed the fact that I'm seeing people, just my friends online, that have already raced in this game, and I'm seeing their times and I'm racing against them, which is amazing too because it just brings out this highly competitive person inside of me, which is usually always there, but I love bringing it out in racing games. I beat your score. And it was good, so come at me, bro.
Whoa, now that is what I call a race. One pilot down.
If anything, it made me want to just go back and really commit myself or recommit myself to the Forza Horizon 2, which I was about due, I guess. I don't know. I missed racing games. I didn't really miss the Furious 7 kind of marketing that's embedded in all this. Some of the cars in the game are actually cars from the movie, but, only the Fast and Furious nuts will realize that.
Okay, for you nuts out there that have never experienced Forza Horizon before, but you like Fast and Furious, this is definitely something to try if you just maybe want to hear Luda's voice and see some of the cars. But other than that, I think it's great for racing fans and even people that haven't even experienced a racing game before.
DLC, what are you
going to
give it?
Great way to jump in. I love it. It's an 8.5.
Gets an 8 for me.
Yes, we enjoy the game so much more than the movie. So does that mean we're now living in Bizarro world? Hey, if you see Bizarro Jerry, tell him I have many questions. speaking of questions, we've got one of yours to answer after the break.
If you want more EP, go to our website, epn.tv, for bonus content and full episodes. We're also on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to EP Daily. It is time now for the best part of today's show. It is the Twitter question of the day. This one comes from our friend, Stephen Nikolic. He asks, what's your biggest gamer regret, i.e. game you never finished, a bad purchase, etc.?
Well, we have many regrets, mostly about the time that we spent playing bad games, and the scores reflect that. But I have two. I have SSX3, which I scored too soon, ended up loving that damn thing, obsessed over it. And another one that we had to kind of move on, I've always regretted not being able to go back to, is because I love DC so much, is the DC Universe Online game, which I know is massive, and I really want to play that on the PS4, but I don't have time.
Okay, those aren't bad regrets.
No, I know.
I regret all the peanut butter cups that I ate last night while I was playing MLB The Show.
All right.
I also regret that I didn't pick up Viva Pinata 2 because I love Viva Pinata, and maybe if I bought Viva Pinata 2, we'd have another Viva Pinata.
Yeah, it's all because you didn't do that.
Yeah, it's all my fault.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry, everyone.
Well, listen, you can tell us all about your regrets and watch some of ours by heading to epn.tv.
We've got more coming for you in an upcoming episode of EP Daily, including a review of the new Samsung phone.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
EP would like to thank its sponsors, Nintendo, Xbox. Samsung isn't trying to own the whole thing with its own operating systems and its own apps. It's got some pretty cool partnerships with Microsoft and with BlackBerry for security. In terms of the hardware build, Samsung's got an amazing winner here, either with the standard S6 or with the Edge. They're both beautiful phones.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
Aluminum glass as opposed to having plastic on the back of
Which
the...
is new for them. But when I put this phone down, when I'm not even, it's not in my hand, and I had it down on my day planner, I felt professional.
Yeah.
I felt really professional with this phone. It's so sleek. It is very sexy. I mean, even the back of the Edge looks like the front of the phone. It looks like it should be the front.